MonsterBuild, One World Trade Center, 1,776 feet, the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, built on the most emotionally charged piece of land in American history, and the story of how it got built, the arguments, the engineering, the grief, and the decisions, is as extraordinary as the building itself. On the morning of September 11, 2001, the Twin Towers collapsed into their own footprints. The collapse sent millions of tons of debris into the underground foundation system that had been built beneath the original World Trade Center in the 1960s. That foundation, a slurry wall known as the bathtub, was designed to hold back the waters of the Hudson River from flooding lower Manhattan's bedrock. When the towers fell, every engineer in New York held their breath. If the bathtub cracked, the Hudson would flood the foundations of half of lower Manhattan. It held. That wall, built 4 decades earlier, was the reason the site could be rebuilt at all. The debate about what to build took years. The site is sacred ground to thousands of families who lost people there. It is also 16 acres of some of the most valuable real estate on Earth. In the middle of the financial capital of the world, the Port Authority of New York, which owns the site, needed it to generate revenue. The families of victims needed it to honor the dead. The city needed a statement. Those 3 things do not easily coexist. And the arguments about what to build, how tall, what shape, what to memorialize, what to commercialize, consumed years of public debate before any design was finalized. Construction on One World Trade began in April 2006, nearly 5 years after the attacks. The original design by architect Daniel Libeskind was modified significantly before construction started. Security concerns drove many of the changes. The building that was eventually built has a base that is fundamentally different from any other skyscraper in America. The first 200 feet are a solid concrete cube with no windows, hardened to withstand a large vehicle bomb detonating at the perimeter fence. It is more fortification than architecture at street level. Above the base, the building transitions to a glass tower. The facade is made of prismatic glass panels that shift appearance depending on the angle and light. The building looks different from every direction and at every time of day. The structural core is a reinforced concrete shaft running the full height, designed to remain standing even if the outer structure is compromised. The floors are engineered to resist progressive collapse, the failure mode that brought down the Twin Towers, where one floor pancaking into the next took the entire structure down in seconds. The steel for the building came from all 50 states. That was a deliberate procurement decision, not just the most efficient supply chain, but a statement that the whole country was participating in the rebuild. Workers on the site left personal inscriptions, photographs, and messages on the structural steel as it was installed. Firefighters who lost colleagues on September 11 were given the opportunity to place their hands on the steel before it was encased in the building. It is the only skyscraper in the world where the construction process was itself a ritual of national grief. The 9/11 memorial sits in the footprints of the 2 original towers, 2 enormous reflecting pools, each nearly an acre in size, with waterfalls descending 30 feet into a void at the center. The names of all 2,977 victims are inscribed in bronze around the edges. The design by architect Michael Arad was selected from over 5,000 submissions from around the world. The memorial opened on the 10th anniversary of the attacks, September 11, 2011, 3 years before the tower itself opened. The cost was extraordinary. The total cost of rebuilding the World Trade Center site, including the tower, the memorial, the transit hub, and the infrastructure, exceeded $30 billion. One World Trade Center alone cost $3.9 billion, making it one of the most expensive buildings ever constructed. For context, the original Twin Towers cost $900 million in 1973, which is about $6 billion in today's money. The new tower cost more than 6 times what the originals cost, adjusted for inflation, because of security requirements, the complexity of building on an active grief site, and the political process that governed every decision. The building opened for tenants in November 2014, 8 years after construction began, 13 years after the attacks. The observation deck on floors 100 through 102 opened in May 2015. On a clear day, you can see 5 states. Standing at the top of the building, looking down at the memorial pools and the footprints of the towers that used to be there, is an experience that does not have a simple emotional name. One World Trade Center is not just the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. It is the physical argument that New York makes about itself, that it absorbs catastrophic blows and rebuilds, taller, stronger, and more deliberately than before. The height is 1,776 feet. The year is not a coincidence. Nothing about this building is a coincidence. Follow MonsterBuild. The biggest builds on Earth, explained. Link in bio.